the Pochètte Accessoire. To an American, it looks like Pochètte Accessories, but I think it's Pochètte Accessoire. And I used it this past weekend, so that's why it's not like all wrapped up in plastic and stuff. But before we dive into the details, I'm gonna show you everything that the bag comes with. So when you first unbox it, it comes in a dust bag. This dust bag looks very realistic because I do have quite a few Louis Vuitton pieces that are authentic. And honestly, like, I've seen the real one of this and I've seen this replica, and with a bag this tiny, why would you literally pay $1,000? Like, that doesn't make sense to me, because I have justified spending a lot of money on several other bags, but for something that's like kind of cute, small, and trendy, I just don't want to pay like $1,000 because I just don't think that would be smart. But for example, my YSL was like almost $3,000, and I was just like, you know, like, I'll buy a real one of that because I feel like it's a little bit more elevated. But personally, that's why I choose to get replica bags for some things, because if I can get it for free and I can show it to y'all instead of paying like thousands of dollars, I'm ultimately gonna do it. But anyway, I'm just like so obsessed with this. I think it's so cute. And by the way, you have a discount code that you can get by using my name. I think it's Tiana5 for 5% off. But this is what the interior looks like. So it does come without the strap attached. Honestly, I had to do a YouTube search on how to put the bag together because it was hella confusing. So I'm going to show y'all how to do that. But it comes with the dust bag, the short strap, the authenticity card, which this looks very similar to the authenticity cards for the real Louis pieces. I'm honestly like, at this point, why do people even buy designer stuff if you can get a replica that looks the exact same? But it also comes with this long strap for, I guess, if you want to do it like, it doesn't seem quite long enough for crossbody, but I guess if you have like bigger shoulders, you could use this. And the straps are in the vachetta leather, so it does have the red and then the tan. But personally, I don't like the long strap with it. I like the short strap just because that's how the Instagram models carry it. They usually do it like this. But I guess if you live somewhere cold and you have to wear a coat, then the long strap would make more sense. But before I kind of do an in-depth review of like how much stuff you can fit and show like the close-up product shots, let's first figure out how you attach this. So I'm gonna zip the bag and then remove it, and then I'll show you how I got it on there, because it took me like maybe 5 minutes to figure it out, honestly. So this is what it looks like when you first get sent it. So it kind of looks like a little makeup bag, honestly, but it just looks like this. Here's the front, here's the back, here's the bottom, and then there's the side. Honestly, like, if you know how to tell that this is, like, if you can tell that this is fake, please let me know, because I've seen so many influencers review this and I do not see a difference. And it feels like the canvas that's on my authentic Neverfull. Like, it just feels really good. So I'm honestly so happy that I picked it out. And I'm pretty sure it's around $100 on the website of the person who sent it to me. So definitely check the description, but pretty sure they priced it at a very affordable price range. So now that I've kind of shown y'all what it looks like, by the way, here's the zipper, and then it has, is it gonna focus? I think it says Louis Vuitton. Does it say Louis Vuitton? Yeah, it says Louis Vuitton Paris, made in France. And then the zipper has the little LV, and it even has like a little barcode serial number in the pocket, but I don't want to, like, it's kind of hard to show y'all, but it's like right there. There's no Louis Vuitton labeling on the interior. I don't know if there's supposed to be, but It just comes like this, and then the way that you do the strap is you get the strap, right? And then you put this part underneath here, put the buckle through the hole, then you pull, and then you put this onto the little gold circle thingy, and then that's how you do it. I was so confused, but there's how it's done. That's how it's done. And then yeah, like that. So now that I've kind of gone in depth with like the features and how to like assemble the bag, let me show y'all what fits inside, because to me this is the perfect going out bag. And I like it because let's say I'm going to work, I bring my Neverfull, and then I want to go get drinks after work with like the girls, then I can put this inside the Neverfull, and then when I'm out I'll just like use this one. So I just really like it. But anyway, let's do a little what fits. First, obviously you want your phone, and I have the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and look at that, it fits in there perfectly. I will say it does take up a lot of space in the bag, but at least it fits, because I was concerned about that. And then the other very essential thing that I always have to have with me is my sumatriptan pen. In case I get a migraine. It's kind of like an EpiPen, but I always put this in my going out bags because I don't want to go to the ER. And then gum, a lip gloss, a hand lotion, and then honestly, like, the only other thing that I can fit is my little Louis Vuitton, what is this, a key pouch, and it has my key on it. So it fits all of the essentials, but it's definitely not gonna be like super spacious. And then this is what it looks like when it is all full. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend putting literally anything else in there, because then it's gonna probably break. But yeah, it fits everything I need, so honestly, what more can you ask for? And then it just hits. Okay, my rib cage is like right there, so it hits right there. And yeah, that is the bag. I love it so much, and I'm so glad that I was sent this to show you guys, because this would honestly be a really good Christmas present. Yeah, it's not authentic, but look at the box. Like, look at the dust bag. And I honestly, unless you literally work at Louis Vuitton or you're a luxury authenticator at The Real, I don't really think that you would be able to tell. And I mean, personally, if someone was like, oh, your bag is fake, I would be like, I don't really care, because it's a tiny purse. To me, a tiny purse just isn't worth $1,000. So that is pretty much the end.
There's on the inner fabric of this non-authentic Goyard, it feels very rough, and the material feels slightly synthetic. So you know when you buy clothing, when you touch the material, sometimes you can tell when the material is synthetic and doesn't feel very good. This is what it feels like on the non-authentic version. So you can't really tell from pictures. I feel for this one, you really need to feel the bag. Tip number 13 would be the stitching on the attachment of the handles. I've seen a lot of super fakes, and they're really getting better and better. But if you look at the authentic version, you can tell that the attachment of the handle, there is a double stitching on the top stitch and the last two stitches, right? And everything else is single stitched. For the non-authentic version, you can tell that it's not very consistent. For here, the upper stitches have double stitching on the top two stitches, and then double stitching on the last three stitches. So that's another inconsistency that we've found. And the very last tip, which for me, for this bag, it was the biggest giveaway that it's not authentic, is the handles. So if you look at the authentic version of the Goyard bag, the handles are very soft and supple, and similar to what I pointed out earlier, if you look at the sides of the handle, it's not perfect, it's not rubbery. You can still see elements of the natural leather, and it's malleable, right? It's not that stiff. Whereas if you look at this blue GM Goyard, the moment I held the handles, I knew immediately that this was not authentic, because the edge of the leather is too perfect. You see, you can tell that the edges are very rubbery, it's very stiff, and the handles do not feel lightweight. They do feel a little bit heavy. So these are the 14 tips which I hope that you found useful. I know there are lots of articles out there talking about the chevron print of the bag and how the chevrons, you know, you can find giveaways here. But this is really a super fake, and for this version, I really could not find any difference between the authentic and non-authentic version. If you're looking to buy a Goyard secondhand, be extra careful. Remember to ask for lots of pictures, especially for areas that are not immediately obvious to the eye. So the leather straps, the attachments.
It's very, very clean. It's very tiny. There is nothing else said except either France, depending on the year of the bag, or made in France. Again, pay attention to the stitching here. As you can see, it's very, very neat, evenly spaced out. The stamp right here where the Louis Vuitton on the pocket is, it's a high quality stamp. It's not gonna fade away over time. And let's compare it with the fake bag. Take a look at the fake one. The fake's heat stamp has color. They did a pretty good job on the L and O, but the R is actually bigger and it's not very aligned above the V and U. The made in France, it's not very aligned. However, the stitching, it's not too bad. The hardware, it's not too bad, but the color of the pocket, it's way off comparing to the real bag. I hope it fits in the frame. So the red here, it's more pale comparing to this red. It has a pink undertone. The stitching on the pocket, it's very, very poor stitching. It's very bad. The corners are kind of crooked. The stamp is not in a best shape, and also it's getting a little like ballsy. The fabric, it's not the best to canvas comparing to this one. One last thing, as I said, stitching, it's very important. So make sure when you look at this part of it, it's supposed to be 5 stitches right here, which they followed it, and there should be 2 double stitch on the bottom, which only is 1 right over here. Always compare the both side with each other and all the stitching. I can't say enough about this stitching. Stitching is everything. Make sure you store your bags very well, especially the canvas one, because they can wreck. So make sure to leave them stuffed and display them in your closet. Don't fold them because they can get the shape of the folding. The next thing I usually pay attention, it's a date code. Actually, there is a website which I'm gonna link it down below, and it's all about the date codes on the bags. I put it on the screen at my job, and we refer to that website all the time for making sure that the date codes are real, because these fake bags, they come out.
The finding things pre-loved is because that's just naturally in my DNA. At a young age, if I wanted to get some cool new outfit, I would turn to Goodwill to find something similar, and still feeling extremely confident. Back when it wasn't necessarily cool, but it was cool to me. I find a lot of joy in bringing pre-loved pieces back to life. This one is not pre-loved, nor is it vintage. I actually went to the Chanel store over the weekend and I got something for one of you guys who is a single mom. This is why I'm so passionate about what I do. I hope that Fashionica can be a place where single moms, or someone who is just starting out, can find something that's a little bit more accessible. By the way, 99% of the pieces I buy are pre-loved, so this was like one of my first trips and purchases at Chanel. I'm gonna be giving away this beautiful lilac Chanel caviar card holder. It's gold hardware. I actually have a very similar card holder. Oh my gosh, I didn't realize it kind of matches my nails. Since this is the 2024 collection, look at how cute the little interior is. I'm also adding this little chain so that now you could wear it as a little bag if you wanted to. You can either wear it, as a waist bag. You can also wear it as a short shoulder bag. It's adjustable, so you can also wear it as a crossbody as well. How to enter, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Let's be friends, and comment below. Nominate your single mom, or if you are a single mom, you can nominate yourself as well. There's a lot of Mother's Day giveaways happening right now, but I don't see too many that are celebrating the single moms out there, so this one is for you. I also wanted to take the time to thank the moms. If you're a single mom, if you are not a single mom, shout out to all the moms out there. You guys are our modern day superheroes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hugs and kisses. Bye guys.